Right,
You
welcome
missed
back.
out number 9.
Sorry, people. Right, welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin. Ali was making me laugh. It's Marvin from Streamline Entertainment. And here we have the one and only Ali.
Good job there's only one of me. Good evening, everybody.
You did make me laugh, Ali, because I got to 9 and you would let me say 10.
Never mind.
Right, serious things. So we're going to get into Operation Thunder, Ali.
Right.
27 people arrested, and it was county lines and basically children mentioned as well, which is never a good thing. And I've actually made a county line video for tomorrow morning. Basically, which I've put out there, which is quite deep. What are your thoughts on this? Because this is in sort of different areas, and like Jay's area was mentioned, and Burnley and Blackburn in different areas. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've probably got a bit more information on that, really,
Brilliant.
because I've checked with the coroner's court today,
Okay.
and they kind of put me in the right direction yet again. Well, they're brilliant, really. So, considering they're council funded and none of the councils have got any money, I think we're lucky to have them, really.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and for them to share a bit of information with us as well, which is great.
oh yes, because it was my line of work anyway. So kind of I knew who to talk to, and about a week ago I think I told you I spoke to Alison from there, but she wasn't on duty today, but I did get hold of Diane
Okay.
and just explained and went over what I'd done with Alison, and she said about the county lines, and then she also said to me she would check all the lists for me, which she kindly did,
Brilliant.
and nothing is booked for Jay Slater's inquest. There is nothing booked at all, and she went over every single area that covers Lancashire. It probably won't be Dr. Adderley now, because apparently he's not going to be in charge.
Oh, right.
I don't know why that is. I haven't asked, but that might.
Maybe. Do you think it was? Do you think it may be because of the Nicola Bully case that people weren't happy with that they wanted to give the reins to somebody else, Ali?
I don't know. I really can't say because I wasn't told. So, and I wasn't going to delve into it because you've given me so many jobs to do today that I only had 5 minutes to do each
I'm
job.
so sorry. I'm so sorry, darling. I do appreciate all the hard work you do.
Anyway, yes, I did do every single bit of what you instructed me to do. But yes, she checked with the Preston one, which is where the inquest was first opened, but it was then adjourned, which was the 12th of August this year. And there is nothing at all until May. And she's gone up as far as May, and nothing is booked in for Jay Slater's inquest at all until May. She checked with Preston, which is one of the other ones. Oh no, that was Manchester. Sorry, I'm getting a bit muddled here. Told you I was tired tonight. Manchester, and she's gone up till the end of March with that one. So basically, there is nothing in at all. The reason that I've been told, and it didn't come from her, it came from somebody else, is that the police are dealing with it. And of course, no inquest will be held until the police have finished their business. And we have heard over the last 3 or 4 days that they have now arrested another 27 people.
Wow, wow, and that was obviously for county lines and obviously child extortion. I think it really needs to be dealt with strictly. This, and like I said, I know the police are have got a lot to do, but I think this needs to be made priority about this county line stuff, because I'm shocked how so many young people are affected by it. I really am,
Well,
Ali.
I'm pretty certain now it is to do with that, because
Yeah.
I have now also the areas that the police have made the arrests in.
Okay.
And that is Accrington,
Right. That's Jay's area, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Great Howith,
Yeah.
Howith, I think I've said that right. Haslington
Yeah.
and Oswald Twistle.
Wow.
So it's all East Lancashire.
Yeah. Wow. And
So
it
that is significant, to be honest with you.
very. And do you know what? I'm just wondering if any of those names were people that are of interest in the Jay Slater case that were in Tenerife, or even some of the boys that assaulted Tom Hilton.
Well, I think I might get some news by the end of the week.
Fabulous. Yeah.
The other thing is that I can tell you what they've been arrested for: heroin, crack cocaine, mobile phones, and child exploitation.
Wow.
So we know the 4 categories that they have been arrested for. So I want to thank my contacts up there
Brilliant.
for letting me have that, and also for the coroner's court.
That is, Ali, that is absolutely fabulous information. Do you, I'm sure, I'm pretty positive what I've heard from private messages, investigators as well, who email us both. I do think this case is going to take a little bit longer because there's ongoing investigations. Because some people think there's nothing happening and this is just going to sort of die out, and, you know, we're not going to see probably Jay, get some kind of justice. Do you know?
I think that we will get justice for Jay. I have a feeling that we will, and I do hope so. Some of the things that have gone on over the last 3 days have been quite mind-blowing.
Yes, I agree.
I've got loads of notes here. I don't know where to start, really.
Should we go into this is easy, Aunt Priestley, and this Aunt Priestley, and he's a detective, isn't he? Sorry, not a detective, a private investigator.
Yes, we can go into him, and I haven't got his name down here, but I expect I have. But I've got so many reams of paper here.
Yeah.
I can't.
Because apparently he's working with the police, isn't he, Ali, on the
Yes,
Jay
that's
Slater
the
case?
one, yeah. I can't remember all the names. I do apologise.
No, it's okay.
There's so much
That's all right.
on.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've got. There's lots of things that have gone on today, including I have been put in touch with the Chronicle Live person.
Yeah.
That reported the tail end of where Jay was last spotted, and they are getting back to me on Thursday, so we should have something on that.
Oh, that was the lady reporter, wasn't it?
Yes, the one that you couldn't get hold of.
Yeah. I did email her, but it didn't seem to be picked up for some reason. So I'm thinking it may have just gone to, like I said, an office email, and it wasn't picked up or passed on to her, or maybe she's just taken some time to get back. But that was last week sometime, early last week.
Yeah. Well, I got a telephone number, so I rang.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's even better, Ali.
But the person wasn't available, but they're going to ring me before the end of the week. So
Oh.
that's handy to know.
That's
And
absolutely...
I shall chase them up again if they don't.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I tell you what's what's good, Ali, as well, if this lady can give us a timeline as well, some kind of timeline, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Well, I think we're getting there. I
Yeah.
really do think we are getting there.
Hmm.
I've had my doubts up to now, but I do feel a little bit happier now.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is that I have now also done some work on the 4 real friends of Jay Slater
Okay.
that actually followed Debbie out to Tenerife,
Okay.
and actually had hands-on in looking for Jay.
Interesting.
And they are James Curry,
Yeah, that was supposed to be his bestest friend, wasn't it?
absolute best friend. I didn't know until today that both him and Jay, plus one other person, was actually set upon themselves a little while back.
Right.
I'm trying to find out when that was. I can't even read my own writing tonight. And
Is-
James was quite badly hurt.
Yeah, is that when Jay was a lot younger? This wasn't quite. This wasn't recent, was
Yeah,
it?
they were only about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
There.
An article did, and someone did do a one of the YouTubers did do something on that. I think it might have been Crime 1111, True Crime
Probably.
1111. Yeah.
I can't remember them all. Anyway, I followed that one up, and I also followed up his ex-girlfriend Jessica,
Okay.
who was very forthcoming in stating that she can understand that Jay would go for a walk all over these mountains. It didn't make any sense at all, and she was the first one to flag up that somebody had taken him.
Wow. Wow.
And she said that she couldn't make out why it was that he went up the mountains. He wouldn't do that. And she looked at the area, as did Alia
Duckworth. Yeah.
And Saul Wilkins, and those 4 were his bestest friends. He's known for years, and I'd rather take their information than I do with what I call the pseudo friends that only knew him about 6 to 8 weeks. The area is a very busy area in Masca. This is what they've said. Hiking and holiday makers mostly. It's in broad daylight, and someone would have to been seen if they had walked off up to a mountain because it's so busy. The terrain does not make for anybody of Jay's caliber to go off hiking. Even if it's off-road or on-road, he just wouldn't do it. They've known him for, they've known him for 15 years. I mean,
they know his MO technically.
Yeah, and they've all said that he wouldn't have gone down to 1% on his phone. He would have made sure it was top right up.
Do you know the other thing, Ali, which is very, very important as well, is that if he'd come into any difficulties and he had his phone with him, he would always contact his mum.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, that's another thing, is this her flying out on the Wednesday, I think it was, wasn't it? Early hours of the morning. Now, I've looked at all that with the Facebook page that Lucy did, and the police stuff, and it doesn't marry. It just doesn't marry.
Yeah.
And he was reported missing by them with Debbie's number on it 2 days before they went over to Tenerife and before even the Spanish police knew. So I would flag that up as being a big query.
Because it's funny you saying that, Ali, because someone sent me a private email to say that they heard that the British police, when they went out there, were asking questions about Brandon Lucy a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether, especially the police in their own area back in the UK, had something on them and why they were travelling so much that year. Because it would raise suspicions.
Well, I think we've narrowed it down that they weren't real friends,
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
them really,
very true.
because why on earth, if he'd gone off road and his phone pinged, why on earth didn't Lucy, Brandon jump in a taxi or a car and go and get him? It doesn't make any sense if you were a good friend.
Of course, of course. And obviously, the lady that took Lucy up there, we've never heard from her. And apparently, she did make a statement, then withdrew the
Did.
statement.
I actually did trace her, but she hasn't got back to me.
Right.
And, I don't know too much about her, to be honest. I know
No.
she was a choreographer in London.
Yeah, and a dancer. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Now then, the other thing is Davis Hargreaves, he was one of the 8 that got had up for the Tom Hilton.
Yeah, that's correct.
On June the 19th, he Facebooked a post stating that he was Brad's cousin, and he had a heart up with it turned Facebook blue for Jay, please, and his quote was, "This was the 19th. Rest in peace, my brother. Some man you was.
Yeah.
You will never be forgotten. My G cross 2 he was."
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, he did that before it was, he was missing. He was reported.
Yeah, that was really odd. Really, really, really odd. But we always thought that people knew what happened to Jay way before all this happened. I always thought it was very suspicious from the start when MWT had said the online private detective who turned around and said, look, the last person to see him was Ayup, basically in Masca, the Airbnb. I thought there's something serious wrong with you. When you looked at his criminal convictions, you just knew there was something wrong, urgently wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, of course, is any police of wherever you are in the world, if you've got a missing person and they're over 18, they won't bother to even register them as a missing person for at least 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
Because they can turn around and say, well, actually, I can't go after them because they're over 18 and, unless they thought his life was at risk, and at that time they didn't.
Correct.
You wouldn't get the police knocking on Debbie's door at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, your son is missing, I think you better get over to Tenerife. It wouldn't happen.
No,
They
because
would want to wait 48 to 72 hours.
yeah, for all they know, like I said, they could have all thought he was on a session and ended up at a party or something and show up about 48 hours later. A lot of people do that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and if you're over 18, you're quite entitled to do it. I mean, you could go off on a bender for a couple of days and, or you could, I don't know, go off with a woman or something. And you don't have to tell anybody when you're over 18.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to move on to Jay's mum, Debbie, the interview with is it the Green Bank police station in Blackburn?
Yes, yeah.
This isn't interesting because, like I said, obviously you looked into this, Ali, but I didn't actually know it went back. It was actually in Blackburn that she took Jay in. Is that correct?
Yes, she did. Now, I've got to find my notes on that because I wrote them all down.
Okay.
I still can't find my notes.
That's all right. Take your time. It's not a problem.
She did take Jay to Blackburn Police Station, Green Bank, I think it's called, police station, to register Jay because he told her that he arrived and Tom was already on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Jay didn't touch him, apparently. I mean, I'm saying apparently, I wasn't there. But he was an onlooker, and he got there later, and he was already on the ground with blood everywhere and goodness knows what else. And Debbie thought, I better take him to the police station. I better take Jay to the police station and just register that he saw this. So she did. She took him up to the Greenbank police station and registered that he was there. And they said, okay, that's fine. You know, we'll be in touch if we need. The following April, she had a letter come through the post to say that actually, unfortunately, he was going to be charged. And she was horrified.
Yeah.
She was horrified that this would happen because she thought it was done and dusted. But because he had gone and done a statement, she had, she didn't realise this would happen. And that he was an accessory to the situation. That's what I've got written down.
Yeah.
And that's how come, you know, he was pulled into it, so to speak. But the worst thing was, apparently, in the dock when they all went in front of the judge, and of course none of them actually spent any time for this crime.
Yeah, yeah.
They all started laughing.
Yeah,
and
I did hear this.
Okay?
I did hear this. I did hear about this.
And that's really why Tom Hilton's dad and everybody got angry, was because they were kind of mocking them, thinking, well, we've got off with this, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot of taunt. I heard there was a lot of taunting by Jay, sort of, and the rest of them, giving it the big one what they did to Tom.
Exactly. Even though Jay didn't touch him.
Yeah, it was still gloating.
They're gloating, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what really got Tom's father annoyed more than anything else. So, you know, that part is true. So, just shows you, if you go and own up to something, that, you know, maybe they should have taken some legal advice before doing that. I don't know.
You've got to be, you've got to be so, you know, what he should have done, I think, was just take a back seat away from these boys, or his mum move him out the area. But it's easy for us to talk because we're not there. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. I mean, you know, with my own case, I mean, I've had to take a back seat, thinking I can't take people on if they've got so much money, you know? But you have to think outside the box on what else can you do.
Yeah. Thank you, Ali, for that. We're just going to move on to the Maruba, changing colour from blue to white and then from red to white, Ali. And it's had a lot of modifications as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, the back end of it, if I can call it the back end of it, was slightly altered to take a tender. Now, if you know what a tender is, to take a small boat, a blow-up dinghy with an outboard motor or a jet ski or something like that, so that they can store it on boat for emergencies. Or if the boat itself can't go into really shallow water, then they can just hop on a small boat from it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, with a small engine and still move, in a smaller boat. Wow.
Yeah. So, that was the alterations on the boat itself, and changing the colour spec from blue and white to red and white. Obviously, when it was under the blue and white, it was under the Belgian flag and sailing under the Belgian flag. But then it went to red and white, and it was under the Spanish flag, but it then started using both flags. So that's been interesting, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's been very, 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 very odd. And we do think it may have something to do with the body found in Morocco. Because I remember Duncan Duncan talking about it, but he was saying it could be a long shot because the body was found in a river miles and miles away, and he's just thinking about the time span that it may not have been Jay. But like I said, but people are getting mixed up with a 30-year-old guy that was found in those couple of weeks as well.
Absolutely. The 31 or 32-year-old guy actually came from the other side of Morocco and wasn't found in that river anyway. So I still think there's a chance that it could have still been Jay, and that is why they took some time to get it back. Looking at Davis Hargreaves' post on the 19th, they found the body in the river in Morocco on the 19th. And if you look at Fez News or Morocco World News...
Yeah, I saw it there.
Yeah, that film is still up there for anybody that's interested in looking. The other thing that kind of flags up to me is that why did Barcelona request the Moroccan, that's the Knefra area that found that body, why did they request that all toxicology reports and everything go from Knefra in Morocco across to Barcelona? I can only think that it's because there was an interest from Spain on that case.
Yeah, and obviously they weren't willing. The reporter that was looking into it for us, they weren't willing to give him any information and reimbursed him his money. That's correct,
right.
Isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, the Maruba wouldn't have been able to get up that river because of waterfalls and dams and everything else.
Yeah.
But a small tender boat could be, or it could go by road transportation. But with helicopters and all the latest things, it would take about 5 hours to go from Tenerife, then across to, say, somewhere like Las Palmas, where I think it did go, the Maruba, and then from Las Palmas across to Fuerteventura, and Fuerteventura to Rifa is only about 5 hours. So you're looking at, all right, it's 1,000 odd miles, but if you do it by different elements of transportation, you could actually do that.
Yeah, it can be done. It can be done.
Definitely, it can be done because a ferry goes across from Fuerteventura over to Tarifa, and it takes 5 hours.
Yeah, because
so it is still possible, and I have a feeling that is what's happened, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's a coincidence. It's a massive coincidence, though, Ali, isn't it?
It is a massive coincidence because I actually saw the film of that body being retrieved, and I hate to say it, but the shape of the body and everything else would tie in.
Yeah, because they said it was a young man between 18 and 22,
Exactly.
of slim build, sort of same hair type as Jay as well. There's just too many things which add up, and like I said, there's suspicion, of the Moroccans not telling us who this person was, and that it was technically the Spanish are dealing with it, so they fobbed it off to them.
Yeah, the other thing is of course, if the body was placed back in the ravine, which I think it was, it could be the transportation might have had an effect on the body anyway.
Yeah.
And they would need so many days to organise it all. It can't be done overnight.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Really, really interesting stuff. I had someone who was sending me a message that was actually watching the Maruba before June and said there was a lot of suspicious activities. They were sending me private emails. I was on holiday at the time, and I said, look, do you want to do a live? And they said yes, and I never heard from them again. They said, look, I've got to be careful what I'm actually saying, because they saw a lot of movement in the early days. And I was putting, obviously, didn't obviously name this person, but we're putting out, they said that I could put out what they were actually saying. And this boat was doing some strange things, and going offline. That wasn't the first time it actually done that, I was told.
Well, no, and I mean the way that they get the drugs into into Masca, because that they do take in drugs there. We do know that. Is done by boat. They have what they call buoys, I think they call them, which they drop into the ocean with the drugs in, and then the boat goes along and picks them up. So that's another transportation thing. That's how they get the drugs onto Tenerife and onto the islands. Yep. Is that they drop them in the ocean, a bit like a buoy. If you see a buoy, when you're on a cruise ship or a yacht or something, you've got buoys in the ocean that tell you to be that side of the buoy, otherwise you'll go into shallow water. It's the same kind of system, really, but they're used for storing drugs in, so that somebody comes along and picks the drugs up and pops it on their little boat, and off they go again. So it could be, why would they come back from Morocco empty-handed?
Correct.
They might have come back with drugs in them. Who knows?
Yeah. It seems like a big operation over there, and I guess sometimes we're surprised how much people are involved, and more information is still coming out, Ali, even today. Do you know what I mean? We've had, Luggy looking, it's bizarre. Brandon is even coming in, listening to what I've got to say.
Well,
so it's interesting.
Lucky, bless him. I've seen his little script.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to be part of my book, but it's not on you, Lucky, at all. It's on something completely separate. So I'll send you a copy of the book when it comes out, Lucky, because it isn't anything on you at all.
Yeah. I'm going to have to start calling you 005.
Oh. Well, as long as you don't go up with the numbers, I'm okay with that. The other person is Lou Cray.
Oh my God!
You and I are being chased by because we're part of a big criminal gang. You have to have a bit of sense of humour with this.
This is getting really bizarre.
He said that I was doing a book on him, and no, I'm not, Lucky.
He just thought you were putting him on the map.
Well, what about Ayab being put on the map then, with his business then?
Oh, wow. What we're probably going to do, Ali, because we've gone past 30 minutes, is do a part 2, because we've still got stuff on Brad, Ayab, and a lot more on the business in Barking and other stuff as well. So we're probably going to do that, if we can do that tomorrow, because we just want to keep this down to about 35
tomorrow?
minutes. Yeah, when you're free, that'll be brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Sorry, darling. I know it's been a busy weekend for you, and really, really thank you for this information.
I'm
I think but do you know what? Every time something goes quiet, something big happens where, we're getting back to our notes and the information's coming through all the time. It's absolutely incredible at the moment, Ali.
This is how it happens. I was on the pandemic research, as you know, and that was just snowballing all the time, and I was tearing my hair out. And then I thought after that had finished, oh good, now I've got a break, and then you popped up.
How the hell did I meet Marvin?
Never mind, we've got to have a laugh with these things, because it's completely serious, really. All we need to do is keep our heads down and make sure. And what I do like now is the collaboration between the channels. It's brilliant.
It is.
With Wax and Mama D and Marianne and all the others,
We seem to be all on the same page again, which is good, and supporting each other.
Yeah, Duncan. It's really good, because all together we can make a difference, and I think that makes the job a lot easier.
Do you know the funny thing is? Do you know the funny thing is, Ali? When we were sort of, there was a lot of arguments going on. The trolls, basically, your Chris T and Luggy and others, Rachel, they loved it because we're arguing because it looked as though we didn't know what we were on about and argue amongst themselves. And I think it brings them out in force that we're breaking ranks, and it's better for them if we do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, they make me smile, to be honest, because they know we're getting close. And we are getting close, that I can tell you.
So I heard that Lou Gray has come up with something massive today, but obviously we're not going to say it on this channel. But
No.
isn't it bizarre what she's come out with? Because we have heard this quite a few times, Ali.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm none the wiser, to be honest with you. All I know is you and I apparently are being chased by a criminal gang, underworld gang. But, I mean, apart from that, I haven't got any running shoes to run that fast anyway. The thing is that, yeah, what she said tonight was a little bit disturbing, and I hope she can back it up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but like I said, we just seem to be going down the road of a Dan O'Keefe. Do you know what I mean? And you've just got to be very, 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 very careful.
You don't want to go down through too many rabbit holes. We've done, gone down the rabbit holes quite a lot. I thought that was a good name, actually, for a new YouTube channel, Down the Rabbit Hole.
No, that would remind me of Down the Rapids too much.
Oh yes, it probably would. Yeah.
But obviously, the channel members and the subscribers will go across to see what she has to say. But obviously, we're not going to mention it. But I'm going to ask you, Ali, do you think there's any truth in what she says? I do, but obviously I'm not going to basically shout her out there because I think that information should be passed to the family and onto the authorities.
When I was doing my training, my boss used to say to me, never be surprised. And so I wouldn't be surprised. There could be an element of truth in there.
Yeah.
I think we've narrowed it down to the main players.
Yeah.
On who's involved with all this now. I think we've definitely cornered the market, so to speak. And those people need to be a bit worried because I think they'll have a few knocks on the door shortly.
Yeah.
Not from us, I might add.
No.
But from the authorities.
No. I'm no longer working for Scotland Yard.
I was talking to Laura Richards. Do you know Laura Richards? She's a crime analyst. I know her very well. And
I don't know, Ali. No,
And she said to me the same. Don't be surprised. I said, no, I'm never surprised. Because you never know what twists and turns anybody's going to take, really, do you?
No, but the good thing is, obviously through this, obviously private detective is working for the police as well. I do think there's a lot more that we don't know about that could come up, and we're going to be pretty shocked that something's moving for justice for Jay Slater.
Well, it is because AOB needs to keep an eye out as well because, I've been surprised what I've found out this last couple of days about what he's doing and also other people. And it's no good people saying to me, well, no, you've got the wrong person because my checks are very intense.
Stringent. And you've got to remember is with Rachel Hargreaves is when she's very, very clever in how she does business. So don't always believe, just because there's photos of other people in front of her business, don't always believe what you see because there's a lot going on behind the scenes with her.
Well, on Companies House, I've told you, it's all open to abuse as well, so you have to narrow it all down.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can call yourself what you like. You can call yourself Joe Blogs or whatever, But the truth of the matter is somebody will catch you out in the end.
Okay, Ali, we've done about 40 minutes now. So obviously we got bits and bobs on Ayup and Brad, but we probably can do a part 2 on this because, like I said, there was just so much information. And I have said to the people that we're only going to do try 35-minute videos, but this one's gone on for 40. So thank you very much, Ali, but we'll arrange to do the part 2 to get the rest of the information out as well, and really appreciate all you do for trying to get justice for Jay Slater.
Well, no, thank you, Marvin, and thank everybody, and keep warm and stay safe, and just make sure you check everything.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, people, we're just trying to do the best we can, and really stringently looking for information before this information actually goes out there for people. Thank you very much, Ali. Thank you, subscribers, for all your support. And we'll be back with you probably in the middle of the week or when Ali's free to get the second part out. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.